Flipping the traditional news media model on its head is one of the most salient things that we can do right now, where there is, mistrust and distrust in journalism is at an all-time high. What I like to say is there is no journalistic output from Detroiters without Detroiters' input. And what that helps us do is it helps us build trust. It helps us build relationships, right? And that's how the city of Detroit functions. Detroit runs on relationship. My mission is simple, bro, to provide platforms for Black people to express their power and expertise. That's it. Inherent in that mission is the fact that Black people are already powerful. I'm not empowering anybody. I'm creating this space for Black folks to express that power.
Working professionals, creators, entrepreneurs, I need y'all to tap in. Listen, if you're tired of fighting distractions at home or bouncing around from coffee shop to coffee shop, then Bamboo has exactly what you need to be able to lock in and get your work done. In addition to having flexible meeting rooms and event space, they've got a community that actually supports you while you're in the building. So if you're ready to lock in some space right now, guess what? I got you. If you head over to bamboocowork.com right now and use the promo code BlackFriday20, you'll get 20% off any of your rental bookings. Don't waste any more time. Head over to bamboocowork.com and take care of that. Use that promo code. I'll be seeing you at a Bamboo location sometime soon. Now, let's go ahead and get back into the episode. What up, though, Black Fridays family? Welcome back to another installment of Black Fridays podcast. Before we get into today's episode, I need you to hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment, send some videos to family, friends, and loved ones so that we can keep this thing going. Now that we got that business out of the way, hailing from the east side of Detroit, I got an Emmy Award-winning journalist in the building, executive director of Outlier Media, Mr. Orlando Bailey. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, man. How about yourself?
Listen, it's a Monday when we're recording this, and I'm feeling good. I slept all day yesterday, so I'm energized. I'm ready to go. I'm happy to be on. I've been watching. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. Happy to finally have you here. We got a chance to meet at the Detroit Means Business Summit. I think last September.
Last fall with Angela Yee and all of that. Yeah,
you was doing your thing, hosting with Yee.
Hosted with Angela. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
she's a nerd like me. I didn't realize it.
Yeah, no, she really got love for the game.
Yeah,
she really true to the game.
We nerded out, especially like in our prep. Like she preps the same way that I prep, so that so that I know exactly what I'm doing and where I need to be. Yeah, and then she also just we both enjoyed the content, which was great. Yeah, and it was good meeting you. You were great on stage at the summit last year.
Appreciate you.
It's coming again this year. I'm on stage again. So,
bet. Yeah. Hopefully I get the invitation to come back. I would love to. I'll be in the building regardless, but hopefully I get a chance to be back on the stage.
Yeah.
And then as far as, was that your first time meeting you? Or
it was my first time. I had never met her.
Oh, wow.
I never met her. Yeah, it was my first time, and we synced up the morning before we went live and talked about, how we want to play it, what we want to do, how we want to have fun and bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
And we just had like an easy, natural chemistry. She's really good at what she does. I like to think that I'm okay at what I do in that arena. And we had fun with it. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one thing I noticed in terms of your career and the work that you do is that there is always a balance between being able to leverage media and being able to have a community focus as well. And so I would love to be able to start with your work, what you do currently as far as Outlier Media, that kind of combines both of those two worlds for you, and to learn more about Outlier for people who are not too familiar. And I'll admit, I found out about Outlier probably within the last 2 to 3 years myself. So still like learning and figuring out what it's all about. So we'd love to be able to get that background and history regarding Outlier Media.
Yeah, man. Outlier is celebrating 10 years of existence. We were founded in 2016 by a recovering attorney in the person of Sarah Alvarez, who was really disillusioned with the way media had been showing up for Detroiters, especially Detroiters who have some of the highest and most pressing, information needs. And at the time Outlier was being founded, we were also in the midst of what we now know to be a massive tax foreclosure crisis, where Detroit lost a third of its homeowners to property tax foreclosure. What we now know is that at the time, properties were being overassessed to the tune, some reporting at the Detroit News would say $600 million. And so before Outlier ever wrote a story, we built an SMS system where folks were able to text in addresses to figure out the tax status of grandma's home, of their home, or the home on their block at a time where it was really, really needed, right? People needed to know what was going on their block and with their family homes. We only built the news portion of our website maybe almost 6 years ago, maybe a little bit under that, because what Sarah would say and what Candace Foreman, our inaugural executive director, would say is that people needed information instantly before they want to read your story arc, right? Because we love to write stories. We're journalists. That's what we love to do. Yeah. But people need the information more instantaneously. And so we were able to build out a newsroom. We have about 20 folks. What I would say about Outlier is that it is the perfect amalgamation of media that is steeped in community. I come from a background of community development. Although I was trained as a journalist, when I graduated college, there were no jobs in journalism. And a woman by the name of Maggie DeSantis was running a nonprofit, place-based nonprofit on the East Side, and was like, yo, I got a job for you. And I was there for 10 years, first as a contractor, then an employee doing community work. And so Outlier is steeped in community in that we build on this iterative model of listening to Detroiters tell us what their highest and most pressing information needs are, what is of priority to them. They are our assignment editors. And so we then create news. We create beats that are tailored to what Detroiters are telling us that they need. And then there are always going to be things that we're going to cover. We're always going to cover utility costs, right? We're always going to cover housing because that is an issue that continues to be pervasive for folks. Housing unaffordability, renters and what they're dealing with derelict landlords and stuff like that. And we're always going to do stuff around civic life and city government. But some of the other stuff that we've been able to do, folks have texted us saying, hey, you should look at this. And then we do an information needs assessment. That's how we hear from Detroiters with U of M. And that builds our journalistic output. And then we're buying people coffee every month.
Yeah.
For Coffee Thursdays. And then we're popping up at events. And so we continue to try to make sure that we're in everybody's face all the time so that they can tell us about their experience, but also so that they can hold us accountable if we get it wrong.
Yeah. And why is it important? This might be a bit of a rhetorical question, but why is it important to be able to give the people that much power in terms of what it is that you all report on? Because traditional news systems, and even like you said, as a journalist, you create your arc, your story based on the information or whatever, and then you tell the people about it in whatever way that you deem fit. So why is it important to do the inverse, to be able to say, well, you all tell us what you care about and we'll go and do the due diligence on it?
I think flipping the traditional news media model on its head is one of the most salient things that we can do right now, where there is mistrust and distrust in journalism is at an all-time high. Some of it is much deserved. Right? Some of it is not, but a lot of it is deserved, especially when we have built corporate media newsrooms that are way more extractive than relational. Newsrooms that want to talk to folks, especially Black folks in the city of Detroit, on the worst days of their lives, and we never hear from them again. And so what I like to say is there is no journalistic output from Detroiters without Detroiters' input. And what that helps us do is it helps us build trust. It helps us build relationships, right? And that's how the city of Detroit functions. Detroit runs on relationships. And so to that end, the Pew Research has done study after study about trust and mistrust in journalism. And mistrust in journalism, especially on part of Black people, has always been high. And when we look at the story arc of Detroit, even just going back from to 2008, leading into the bankruptcy and our emergence from bankruptcy, it was Black people that bore the brunt of the death, decay, and dilapidation of the city of Detroit. Black people got to personify that without media paying real close attention to systems, institutions, and policies that rendered Detroit insolvent, right? It was the Black people that made Detroit this way, right? And then, with our emergence from bankruptcy, with this resurgence narrative of the city of Detroit, Black people weren't out front in media personifying that, right? And so why wouldn't there be mistrust and distrust in media? And so what we are seeking to do is build a newsroom where Detroiters can see themselves. They see me. I'm legit from the East Side, right? Yeah. They can see Aaron Perry, our editor-in-chief, a lifelong Detroiter, right? Two Black folks running a newsroom. And they get to see their stories reflected in the journalism that we create. It's a high honor and privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah, and that's phenomenal, especially the work that you all been doing there. What does the day in the life look like for you as an executive director in that space?
It depends on the day, man. Okay. I would say it is dynamic, right? Depending on the day. So as the ED, the business function of Outlier Media rests under my hat, right? And so I could have a day where I'm like talking to attorneys. I could have a day where I'm out fundraising and talking to funders. I can have a day where I'm like internal and improving, our handbook and operational workflows and stuff like that. Yeah, I can have a day where I'm like writing memos and agendas and stuff. It really is just a dynamic. I can have a day where I'm just doing nothing but internal meetings and check-ins. I mean, like it really does depend. There's no one day in my life looks the same. I can have a day where I'm like, I'm here, I'm on DIV, or I'm doing it. Like it really does just depend. Yeah. And I love it that way, I think. Do
you still get a chance to exercise your pen and do stories and stuff?
Nah, it is. It's something I miss. I was able to do that a lot more when I was at Bridge Detroit. You would see my byline at Bridge Detroit. But Outlier has this firewall where our business side does not touch our editorial side. We keep it separate for many reasons. Integrity being our utmost priority, and I don't want to breach that firewall and have not. Aaron Perry won't let me. That's our editor-in-chief. And so I've not been able to exercise my pen outside of my own little journal. Okay. I have a journaling practice, but that's it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take a break, a pause in the action to introduce you to my favorite part of Black Fridays, which is Freestyle Fridays.
Okay.
So you're talking about you're nice with the pen and your journal. We're going to need some bars from you.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're going to need some bars from you. We're going to need at least a smooth 6, 8, 16, whatever you got in the chamber. We're going to need that.
Right now?
Right now.
Oh, man. Okay. Oh, snap. I got it right. Denzel, you catching me off guard with this one, bro. Man. Okay. Man, I'm nice with the pen. I'm going to get off on your lid. Bro, listen. Save me now. Save me.
All right, so you actually don't have to rap. I appreciate the effort.
Me now.
I appreciate the effort, but
I could recite a journal entry somewhere. Dude, off the dome?
Off the top.
Man.
off the top. But Freestyle Friday is really just asking a random assortment of questions. That's all about you. So
Okay.
just need you to answer each one and answer honestly.
Gotcha.
All right. So you from the East Side? What part?
The Northeast side. So grew up around the Denby neighborhood.
Okay.
And in Morningside.
Morningside. Shout out to Morningside.
Yeah.
And so in terms of being a true East Side, what high school you go to?
I went to the Detroit School of Arts.
Oh, DSA. All right.
My neighborhood high school would have been Finney, or
Okay.
which is now East English Village Prep, or Denby.
Okay. Shout out
Yeah,
to the fans.
but I went
Shout
to
out
DSA.
Denby.
Yeah.
For sure. And so as long as you ain't say King, if you said King, we're just going to wrap this up early.
Oh, man. Here y'all go, man. Here y'all go. We need to have this conversation with this Cass Tech elitism, man.
I mean, you know,
It's
I
just-
agree. I agree.
yeah, y'all
we
are-
going to circle back to it.
y'all something else.
Since I got you here, we're going to circle back to it. But I want you to say something nice about the West Side.
Ooh, nice gowns.
Nice blouses. Yeah.
Nice blouses. No, man, y'all. The West Side has some beautiful architecture. So does the East Side, but the West Side. I have a friend who lives in North Rosedale, and every time I go visit her, I'm just amazed. I'm like, man, this is super dope. I had the opportunity to go to the Rocket Mortgage Classic for the first time. Off the Detroit Golf Club.
Which is basically like Sherwood Forest.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. I got some sights
For sure.
on the West Side.
For sure. We appreciate it. We appreciate that. And what would you say is the greatest TV show of all time?
The greatest TV show of all time? Oh, man. I don't know why Martin just popped up in my brain. It's such a Detroit gem.
Yeah, I was about to say, you Detroiters and Martin, man.
It's a Detroit gem.
Got y'all on the chokehold.
But I will also say Shonda Rhimes' Grey's Anatomy.
Okay.
For like at least it's like 25. It's like 20 some years old now.
It's still going on, right?
It's still going on. It's
crazy.
And I
basically Days
watched
of Our
it
Lives
from the
at this
beginning.
point.
Right. It's a weekly primetime soap opera. But like the first 10 seasons at least. Give or take season 5. I couldn't stand that storyline with Izzy hallucinating about Denny Duquette, but like Grey's Anatomy was much watched TV. Do you remember that time?
I do. I remember when it first came out. I remember watching the first season, but I didn't get past that.
Man.
I wasn't a Grey's fan.
You had a black man as the chief of surgery. I mean, Shonda Rhimes has always been just super intentional. You know what I mean? And so it had me and my family in a chokehold for a long time.
For sure. For sure. And who would you say, because you are typically in my seat in terms of being able to interview people and have meaningful conversations, but with you, we get a chance to flip roles in this engagement, but I would love to know, who is your favorite interview that you ever had?
Oh, man. Shout out to the Charles H. Wright Museum for African American History and Lance Wheeler. Lance Wheeler asked me to interview the Shabazz sisters, Malcolm X's daughters.
Yeah. That was for
MLK,
Black History Month?
Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
And, these are, two girls who witnessed their father's murder. And I began to think about how many people were in the ballroom that day who are still alive and who can still give an eyewitness account.
Yeah.
Right? Probably not that many people, but to be on stage with his daughters and to have his older daughter recount what that experience was like for her. She was so generous with me and with the audience. I was sitting there. I was completely in my body the entire time, listening to their lives with their dad and after their dad and their relationship with the King family. I was in tears. I hardly ever cried during interviews, but that touched me, and their connection to Detroit, of course, was just so rich. And so I have to say, Lance Wheeler at the Right is responsible for one of my favorite interviews of all time.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can say they did that.
Man, what? I remember just sitting there and saying, okay, oh, you are going to let this happen, because they got on a roll. And, most of the time, we see interviewers trying to like fight for their question. They're trying, like, we prepare for this. And I was very prepared. I over prepare, of course. But sometimes, and what I'm always looking for in an interview is when it goes from just a conversational exchange to where that conversation reaches a metaphysical divine point.
Yeah.
And it did. And it was like, dude, you be quiet and you let this happen. And the room was moved. Mm-hmm. The room was stirred in a way that I had not seen in a long time. Probably I seen it again in April. Was it April or May? I interviewed Brian Stevenson, Just Mercy Brian Stevenson.
Yep.
And another man, what? No words. And so just, like letting it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any interviews you want to add to the Infinity Stone, so to speak?
On Authentically Detroit, there was a conversation that I remember having. I remember Donna being absent this day. And so I just like flooded the studio. I'm like, I need a guest co-host. I need some guests. And we talked about Detroit, and we talked about our love for Detroit. It was an interview. It was a local interview with Chase Cantrell, Lauren Hood, and architectural designer Bucky Willis. And to this day, it's just like one of my favorite conversations. You got to listen to it. It was so free flowing. It was just a lot of fun. And I think the chemistry was there because all of us were friends. I've interviewed Nicole Hannah-Jones like 3 times. Easily just like one of my favorite people to interview. She suffers no nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You come correct.
Yeah.
Who else, man? Jason Reynolds, renowned prolific author. I remember when I realized that I wanted to interview him, I heard his voice first, and he sounded like one of the homies from the East Side.
Yeah.
And he was on this podcast with Krista Tippett called On Being. Do you listen to On Being? Mm-mm. He was on Being. I'm like, yo, who's this brother talking to Krista Tippett? like regular. Children's author, youth and young adult author. He was the national ambassador for young people's literature with the Library of Congress, #1 New York Times bestseller author. I got to interview him twice, and like it's super dope to say like, yo, we're friendly. You know what I'm saying? Like I can hit him up, and he'll. And so yeah, so many people. People gonna be mad that I started naming for real.
For sure, I bet. And then last but not least, what's the craziest thing that you've heard about your city? Come out of somebody's mouth. The craziest thing you heard about Detroit.
Oh man, it was this video that was circulating the internet not too long ago of these 2 women.
Oh, that said men don't spend money. Don't be spending money in Detroit.
Who visited, right?
Yeah.
Because wasn't nobody tricking on them. And I was just like, this is nuts. This is crazy. Stop it. Please stop it. And then, there are always, every time there is an election of significance in the city of Detroit, the president likes to get on his Truth Social and bash Detroit and bash the county. And every single allegation that he levies is just always crazy. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? And so, but those 2 chicks in that video, I'm like, please stop, y'all. Stop.
Well, thank you for partaking in Freestyle Fridays.
No, that was fun.
We got a couple bars, but
a couple bars.
Yeah, a couple bars, and then some,
with the pen and the lid.
Next time we're gonna add you to the mixtape. I'm gonna let you do the forward for the mixtape.
You should do that.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
I'm gonna figure that out.
Yeah,
I've been talking about it for years, but
I'm
like
a little like compilation.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah,
we gonna talk. We gonna talk. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, real quick, I wanted to get before I get back into my question that I have for you. I know you had mentioned the Castech elitism and what that looks like in the city of Detroit. A lot of discussion around what education looks like, DPSCD, Castech, the elitist, and the whoever's of the city. What's your take on all of this in terms of this Castech elitism? Because they say if you give a Cass Tech person a chance to tell you they went to Cass,
you're gonna know it within the first 15 minutes of knowing it.
See, you brought it up. I didn't.
Listen, I'm really not here for elitism in any form.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
And I understand that there is a lot of conversation that's being pushed. I've been paying a little bit of attention to what's going on with, Brandy, the millennial manager, and some of the concerns that she's brought out and some of the conversation that is in the Detroit ether, period.
Yep.
But I think we should just take an overall look at not just Cass Tech, because I'm not here to bash technicians. I love technicians. I love people who go to Cass. I love Cass.
Yeah.
An overall look at what elitism looks like in the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
It is a majority Black city, right? And I believe that, elitism and classism is a tentacle of white supremacy.
Yeah.
And it is always mind-boggling to me that white supremacy is still so pervasive in the city of Detroit by way of classism and elitism. And it has Black faces. And we got to recognize that. And we have to do a better job of checking ourselves on that, right? We have to do a better job of checking our peers when they, partake in that, you know what I'm saying? I think, we Detroiters at the end of the day, and some of us live, very different lives and Detroit experiences. I know that my Detroit experience is probably different than that of the average Detroiter.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me better. It's just different.
Exactly.
It's just different.
Yeah.
And I think we got to do a better job of just talking to each other, right? And recognizing the humanity in each other. Put me down anywhere in the city of Detroit, including the West Side. I got to pack a snack. If we travel into the West Side, because it's a ways away, but put me anywhere, I'm gonna find a common thread, right? I'm gonna talk to folks, right? And at the end of the day, we're gonna be family.
Yeah,
we're gonna be family, and that's what I'm trying to get us to. I'm trying to move us away from this. Oh, you got this. You don't got this.
Yeah.
I'm this person. Right. I'm a member. I went to Cass. I'm a member of the DAC. It's like, bro, none of this matters
at all.
None of that matters
at all.
None of that matters. Can you afford to live where you live? Can you afford to drive in this city? Right? Yeah. Is Detroit giving to you more than it's taking from you?
Right.
Right. And so let me give people permission who may feel like they're on a little higher up on the social register. And we were talking about this before we went on air. About that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody swimming in dough right now.
Right.
It is a struggle.
Let's keep it a buck.
Keep it a buck. People are struggling, and you are too. You are too. And so let's be honest about it. I got these on the HSA. I ain't cashed nothing. What I'm saying? Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Right.
And the sooner we can be honest, the sooner we can get back to really, really loving each other. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And killing this quiet but deadly competitive spirit and speculative spirit that I see in some of our spaces. I hate it.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of somebody, tell them. If you love what somebody is doing, tell them. I feel like the reason why I feel like I'm so rich and blessed in relationships because I don't mind telling people yo, that's dope. You were dope. I love that. I see what you're doing. I'm a fan. Love it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether I get to be a part of it or not, that's not the goal. The goal is never for me to always try to be a part of something. It's for me to affirm the work ethic that somebody is putting in. Yo, I see you. I love it. Keep going.
Yeah.
It takes, there's no cost to do that, man.
Yeah.
No cost.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm about, man. Let's spread love and positivity.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. And I agree with everything that you said because as far as that conversation goes, I love being a technician. I love my school. And so I talk about other schools and fun. So really just
Absolutely.
King and Renaissance. So, everybody else is,
It's a Detroit thing for us to poke fun at each other.
Yeah, them are HBCUs. So, those are our HBCUs. So I just like to I like to rep mine. But like I think about a time when I went to a DPSCD event and I just kind of like within myself got a little disgusted because I thought about all the people who were kind of represented, who were either speaking or doing certain things at the event. And you heard a lot of the same school, Renaissance, Cass, Kane, whatever. And I'm just like, I've done a lot of work working with young people across the city at different schools. I went to Cass, obviously, but I done been to Osborne, I done been to Cody, I done been to Southeastern, I done been to like all these other schools that are not considered magnet schools or whatever the case may be, and just seeing firsthand some of the challenges that they dealt with. And even though I went to Cass, we had our own challenges. We ain't had toilet paper for months, like in a school. We used to share old textbooks. Like it's not what everybody think that it is. And so I like what a lot of conversation is happening that's being unearthed with a lot of discord and conversation around what Brandy, the millennial manager, is kind of bringing up, because it's kind of exposing a lot of that. Like the elitists is raising their heads like, we worried about the wrong issues here. Like we really like, let's focus on these kids. Let's provide more opportunities, because there is no reason that someone who goes to a Cody should have different opportunities. Someone who goes to a Cass, that goes to a Mumford, that goes to an Osborne, I was about to say Finney, but East English Village Prep. Shout out to the Fin. Got a bunch of homies from the Fin, but none of these opportunities should look different for any of these kids for any reason. Yeah. So, and then when you think about it and you peel back a lot of the layers, it's a lot of the same stuff going on, and a lot of the same in a lot of these schools, it's just dressed up different for some of these other schools. And so, yeah, we definitely got to be that's the bigger issue that we got to deal with, these elitist ideologies, these like respectability politics and stuff like that. It's rampant in the city, and it's been here for a long time, and it really doesn't have any place if we're going to be able to truly elevate our communities, our people, the next generation, or
elevate the city.
Yeah.
If the schools aren't doing well, the city won't do well. Bingo. And I know we're talking about a comeback or revitalization and resurgence in the city of Detroit. I have my own issues with that narrative. Yeah. We could talk about that if you want to.
Because
but like,
for who?
Right. Yeah. But none of it will be sustained if our schools don't do well. And I think Brandy, the millennial manager, I don't know if she was expecting to get so many mentions. She cussed so good too. It's so crazy. It's like, good God,
beautifully.
She could really cuss. But with her platform, she's bringing light to issues that have plagued folks for a long time that folks without her platform haven't been able to express. I think compounded with that, we had to have a look at the structure, the overall structure, and how schools are funded, right? And parents' advocacy, the board's advocacy for more per pupil funding. We talk about national funding coming through the state giving out per pupil funding. There is also just a funding inequity that exists within our state in terms of how schools and how districts are funded.
Yes.
And so
where's that money from the lottery go?
Right.
I always ask that question. How does that money get trickled down and broke down throughout the state?
Yeah. And so, looking at it from that holistic standpoint, and yes, going to the school board to advocate on behalf of children within the Detroit Public School Community District. But what does that advocacy look like in Lansing?
Yeah.
Right. What does that advocacy look like at the federal legislature? Right. Mm-hmm. And so all of it is something that we got to look at. I mean, it was making waves. Outlier was like, okay, this is news. People are paying attention to this. This is in the ether. We didn't do a whole story on it, but we covered it in one of our newsletters.
Okay.
And talked about, some of the concerns that were raised, and we're keeping a close eye on it. It's definitely an interesting discourse. And
For sure. And so I love being able to have that conversation with you, because it leads me to a question I have for you in terms of, when did you identify that? I know you went to school for journalism. When did you identify that you wanted to be able to you already got bit by the journalism bug, but then being able to provide that communal element to the work that it is that you do, or coming out of school where you just looking like, hey, wherever I can get in, where I fit in as far as journalist opportunities, I'm gonna go do it. Or was it very important for you even back then to like have a community focus with what you did?
Yeah, man, I would say a little bit of both. I went into community development because that was where I can get a job, and I sort of leverage, those journalistic tenets that they teach us around being, insatiably curious, and creating spaces for people's voices to be heard. Like, I employed that in my community development practice. But I would say it goes back to me, growing up before I can even really put together a coherent sentence or read or write. That communal element was something that I literally grew up in, with my grandparents, my grandma. My parents met because their parents lived on the same block. They lived down the street from each other. And so I grew up on a block with two sets of grandparents. You can imagine how lit childhood was when you had a block full of family. And my maternal grandmother's house was the house that everybody descended upon, like on the weekends. And so my grandmother's ability to gather folks, love on folks, and talk about the happenings of the day, that's what I grew up knowing, right? I grew up witnessing that. My grandmother got the Michigan Chronicle. My grandmother got the Detroit Free Press, and she read it every day. My nickname growing up was newspaper because I was legit fascinated with the newspaper. I would try to read the paper like grandma with her readers on. I couldn't read, you know what I'm saying? But by the 6th grade, I had purchased my first subscription to the Detroit Free Press by the 6th grade and was reading it on the school bus on the way to Remus Robinson Middle School. Like, I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
I don't remember wanting to be anything. I remember watching Hugh Perkins on television on Fox 2. It was like, man, maybe I'll be able to do that one day. People seem to trust what comes out of his mouth, right? Yeah. My grandmother watches him every night. The evening, I'm like, maybe, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't remember really wanting to do anything else. And so Outlier allows me to cultivate that gift that I know was given to me by my amazing grandmother, the matriarch of our family, to gather community, to exchange information, to laugh and have fun. You know what I'm saying? To solve conflict.
Yeah.
The house would be packed, man. I don't ever remember the police needing to be called. You know what I'm saying? If something happened, grandma was able to handle it. Growing up, there was always a friend, a family member living in my grandmother's house. She was helping folks without charging them get on their feet. This amazing woman gave me my gift and love for Detroit and for a community. And so that's where it came from. I don't remember anything else.
Yeah.
I don't.
Shout out to grandma.
Shout out to Granny.
And in terms of independent journalism or independent outlets, what would you say are some of the challenges that you all face today? Because I got a chance to touch on a little bit when I had a chance to interview Jamel Hill for the podcast. And so would love to kind of know. Shout out to Jamel. And would love to be able to know your take on what the industry currently looks like, and then like how do you combat being able to go against machines where we're seeing a lot of, like you talked a little bit about it earlier in terms of propaganda, misinformation, fake news. How are you able to combat those things and fight that uphill battle?
Yeah, I would say the current condition of independent journalism is challenging. I'll keep it a buck with you. If you are not, and even corporate media, corporately owned journalism, hedge fund owned journalism is also having a challenging time for different reasons. We are a nonprofit news outlet, right? And so in a time where the commander-in-chief has made journalism and accurate reporting of information public enemy number one, that reverberates. People don't understand or realize how it reverberates locally. This past year, we spent more money on legal than we ever had to before, right? Trying to make sure we defend ourselves against baseless litigation and lawsuits around our reporting, right? We had someone threaten to call and did try to call one of our philanthropic funders about an investigation that we did. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that is a challenge in and of itself, because we are primarily investigative newsroom. We don't make a whole lot of friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But compounded with that, the economy is not doing well right now, and philanthropy is sort of real iffy. We're a nonprofit news organization, and so a big percentage of our revenue portfolio comes from philanthropy, and philanthropy is real skittish right now, right? And so that's challenging. Like, how are we going to navigate our way through that? I think in corporate media, the traditional business model of journalism, of ad revenue, has completely change with streaming and with the internet. And so that business model is broken. And so we're trying to figure out who we are, how we sustain, and even beyond making a profit, how do we continue to center people in the middle of what we're doing,
right,
while still trying to be sustainable so that we can continue to serve people? That's the $1 million question right now that we're all trying to figure out. We're all trying to figure out how to be profitable. And then you have billionaires buying papers of record. You have Jeff Bezos, who owns the Washington Post, right? And it's a whole debacle around their editorial board and them not going to do endorsements, even though he said that he wouldn't, force his hand on, the lever there, right? What's happened at CBS with the Ellisons buying CBS and Paramount. These huge conglomerates and billionaires buying up our media outlets now. It's a scary time. It's a tumultuous time. And I think we're trying to figure out who we are and who we need to be on the independent side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so a question for you in terms of that independent space and being able to have funding that comes from philanthropy. There we go.
I got your back, bro.
Yeah, appreciate you. So being able to be funded by philanthropy, how do you not get influenced by who is funding or be investing into the platforms?
I love this question.
Yeah.
I love this question. Outlier does not play about our editorial independence. And so in our conversation with every single funder, in our conversation with every member, because Detroiters give to us, right? Detroiters are members of Outlier, our Outlier collective. There is absolutely no weight that they can put on the scale of what our editorial priorities are. They do not get involved. We don't allow them to. And so if folks are investing in us, they got to know that. And so we also have this stance that all money ain't good money. And so if you're going to try to put your hand on the scale of our editorial independence, we reject that. We reject that wholeheartedly. And so no foundation tells us what to do.
Okay.
And what to cover.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I gave you $20 and you could in turn turn around and investigate me and be like, he ain't really go to cast. We got his transcripts.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and we also have, a sponsor content side where, different nonprofits and sometimes foundations want a story to get out there.
Okay.
And we have very clear language that it's sponsored and things like that. And one of the sponsors for the SponCon side showed up on like our regular editorial journalistic side and this past year. And it was really a good pressure test to, iron that out. Right. And we did. And we're good, right? That's why we have those systems and firewalls in place.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And one thing I do love, I haven't had a chance to attend one myself yet, but you had mentioned earlier that you all buy coffee for people.
We buy coffee, man.
Yeah. So tell us more about that, how often you all are doing that and really like getting in tune with the people.
Every month on a Thursday, we pop up at a coffee shop and we buy Detroiters coffee and we engage in conversation with them. Coffee Thursdays have been lit. Okay. I mean, they are probably one of the favorite my favorite things that we do, because it lowers the barrier of entry for Detroiters to engage with shepherds. I believe that, as journalists, we are shepherds of our history. We are shepherds of our remembering. We are shepherds of our humanity and our stories. And so being able to interface with Detroiters and hear their Detroit experiences keeps us honest. You know what I'm saying? It keeps us honest, and it reminds us of the privilege that we carry in being able to put words to our experience, being able to document what is observed. Mm-hmm. And we know that it's valuable because Detroiters continue to churn out and come out and drink coffee with us and tell us, yo, y'all need to be looking at this. Mm-hmm. Or did you hear about this? Or, yo, this thing that y'all did, thank y'all for doing that. We did an event around the city budget called $1 Billion Bills, y'all.
Yeah.
It was a play on, of course, Wu-Tang Clan's Cream. And we put together this space with some partners at Bridge Detroit and Detroitography, where we put together an immersive experience. So we were like, we do not want to talk at Detroiters, but we want Detroiters to tinker with, gamify information around the budget so that they can know what's coming from where.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for what, and then give their opinions, right? Man. And so we want to continue to iterate on that and do that and provide spaces for Detroiters to show up as themselves. However Detroit want to show up.
Yeah.
We want them to show up. And so, some folks show up mad.
Yeah.
Got every right to be mad. Mm-hmm. Then Salon said that you got the right to be mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a lot to be mad about.
Mm-hmm. And she exercised that right whenever she gets opportunity.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
And so does Detroit.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
And so in terms of the work that you've been able to accumulate over the years and continue to do, I wanted to see if I could get a little deep in terms of, if you think about the next 30 years into the future, what would you want your legacy to have look like for the work that you have put in around the city and for the city?
I appreciate the question. For me, I would want my legacy to be that he fulfilled his mission. And my mission is simple, bro, to provide platforms for Black people to express their power and expertise. That's it. Inherent in that mission is the fact that Black people are already powerful. I'm not empowering anybody. I'm creating this space for Black folks to express that power. And Black folk are already experts in their experience, right? And so that frame is what I get at every single day. And it's a frame coming from my love for Detroit, my love for Black folk, my love for brown folk, right? And so 30 years from now, when we're having a conversation, hopefully I'm still working, I'm still doing stuff, but hopefully the legacy up until that point would be that he achieved his mission.
And we gonna do a Black Friday special to circle back 30 years from now to be able to confirm, did he complete the mission? Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly hope so. I think every conversation, the repository of content that I've been able to amass and curate over the years, I hope is a testament to that. And as long as, Detroit and everybody allows me to do it, man, I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to continue to do it.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So tell the good folks where they could be able to support you, where they could support Outlier, donate, come get a coffee, all the above. Where can they find you? What's the socials, the websites, all that?
Outliermedia.org. You can subscribe for free. We will never put a paywall up on our stuff. But you can also become a paying member. You could pay $1 a month, $2 a month, $5 a month, whatever floats your fancy. Outliermedia.org. We're also media_outlier on Instagram, Outlier Media on TikTok, and on Facebook. You can follow me on the socials, Orlando P. Bailey on, I guess I'm on X still, barely on there, but on Threads and Instagram. Orlando Bailey on TikTok. I don't post on TikTok, but I love the TikTok. And Orlando Bailey on Facebook. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. OrlandoPBailey.com. You can shoot me a direct message there also, and we'll get back to you.
Dope. And when do y'all want to tag me in for investigative journalist piece? Because I want to go knock on the doors like Charlie LaDuff.
You want to do that?
Man, we can go do whatever. We
you
can go
said
kick
like
in some
Charlie
doors.
LaDuff.
We can go kick in some doors, whatever y'all trying to do. Sign me up.
We not kicking in doors. we knocking
or knocking.
On,
yeah, we'll gently knock on some doors.
We're asking questions and sitting in the Freedom of Information Act requests.
I just want to be there with my
like
phone.
That, with the phone.
Yeah, just let me be there behind the cameraman.
We have not done video in that way yet, but I'm sure after a conversation with Dr. Erin Perry, our editor-in-chief, she'll find a spot for you.
For sure. Say less. Orlando, man, it was great to have you on the show today, man. Like I had mentioned to you before, I love the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Love everything that you stand for, and this is an amazing conversation, and hopefully opens the eyes to a lot of folks of like how we can, as a community, can be able to work better together, support the platforms that's on the front lines, that's actually doing the things, or the people that's on the front lines and doing the things, so that we can be able to leave this place better than what we found it, which is like a big mission of mine personally. And so I when I see others doing it, I'm always inspired and want to be able to connect with like-minded folks like that. So appreciate you for being here and the good folks over at Outlier.
Thanks for having me. And from one pothead to another, congratulations on 6 years.
Thank you.
Hey, man, 6 years is nothing to snooze at
all.
In this podcast game, right? There are many folks who start and they fizzle out because they don't recognize the amount of work that it takes. But you've been at it. You've been excelling at it. I love watching it. Congratulations to you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Anytime, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. And everybody watching, listening, we're going to tap in with y'all soon. Peace.